right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Madhav Krishna. I'm the founder and CEO of Vahan.ai. Before I start, I just want to understand who all are here so that I can leave something of value. How many technical professionals here, if you can raise your hand? Okay, pretty high number. How many engineers? Pretty high number too. How many founders? Okay, and how many business or non-technical professionals? Okay, so it's largely a technical audience, it sounds like. Okay, excellent. I also want to do a different kind of poll. How many people here have a roof over their head, access to 3 meals a day, an internet connection, and a college degree? How many people here have those 4 things? I think everyone. Is there anybody here who doesn't have those 4 things? I think, yeah, everyone has those 4 things. So all of us, I'm in that group as well, all of us are part of just 7% of the world's population. Just 7% of the world's population. Right? So we're a very, very privileged lot if you think about it. In fact, some of us are probably part of top 3 or maybe 1% of the world's population. A large part of the quality of our lives is actually determined by where we are born. Warren Buffett calls it the ovarian lottery. All of us are winners of a lottery if you think about it. And Vahan was started to change that. Our mission as a company is to bring opportunities to people who perhaps have not been as privileged as us in terms of where they were born. So today we do that by helping blue-collar workers in India find jobs. We're building an AI recruiter for India's massive blue-collar workforce. India, as many of you might know, is the 5th largest economy in the world today. But we're soon to be the 3rd largest economy in the world. By 2027, we'll be a $5 trillion economy by then, in fact. And a large part of that growth is coming from sectors such as manufacturing, logistics, where blue-collar workers are very, very core. And they are the engine of our economy and the backbone, for sure. In fact, 80% of all jobs in India are blue-collar. Factory workers, frontline salespeople, delivery workers, right? This number is growing fairly quickly, about 15% year over year. And as India grows as an economy, this number is slated to grow even faster. But there's a very key problem that exists in this space. Blue-collar workers typically find jobs through their networks. 9 out of 10 times. In fact, next time you get a delivery, a food or grocery delivery, try asking the delivery worker where they got their job from. 9 out of 10 times, they'll tell you they got it through a friend or a close connection. So blue-collar workers don't really go online to look for jobs. They'll usually find jobs through networks or through other human beings, which creates a bit of an information asymmetry problem in the labor market, where the jobs that are getting created are not really the ones that are getting taken up because of a lack of awareness. In fact, the delivery space, companies such as Zomato, Swiggy, Flipkart, Amazon, Zepto, etc., hire close to 5 lakh people a month. 5 lakh people a month, right? And that number is growing by 20-25% every year. It's one of the fastest sources of job growth in India. But even this sector struggles to hire people, even though we're a country of 1.5 billion. And that's primarily because of an awareness issue. In fact, what we found is that even today, about 60 to 70% of hiring in the blue-collar space is done by recruitment agencies. So there's a part of it that happens through word of mouth and through networks, But then there's a very large chunk that actually happens through agencies. And these are small, very, very local mom and pop shops. So for example, there's an agency sitting in Darbhanga in Bihar who has 7 recruiters working for him. He's a solo entrepreneur. And they're literally on the phone all day trying to recruit people for jobs locally. Right? And there are probably lakhs of these agencies across the country. Now, this makes it very difficult for employers, especially large-scale ones, to hire blue-collar workers because the supply ecosystem is highly fragmented, right? Lakhs and lakhs of agencies. So if I'm an employer and I need to hire, let's say, 500 people or a few thousand people, I need to work with hundreds of agencies, which is very, very inefficient. In fact, we were in conversation with a very large manufacturer that is in the business of assembling iPhones. And they told us that they need to hire 2,000 people at any given moment in time. So any given moment in time, they have a requirement of 2,000 people, right? And they work with many agencies. It's very, very difficult to manage that process. So that's where Vahan comes in. What we've built at our core, essentially, is a marketplace where we've aggregated jobs as demand on our marketplace or our platform. This is provided by employers, obviously. And supply is actually provided by recruitment agencies. So we're, in a way, formalizing or aggregating this highly fragmented supply ecosystem. Okay? And what we've done is, we've built software for these agencies. Okay? So we have a platform through which these agencies can discover demand in the form of jobs to fill. They can refer candidates for those jobs. Our platform is able to match people to the right jobs. And now they can use AI to automate parts of their workflow. So we've built an AI recruiter, like I mentioned, that's actually able to speak to candidates on the phone and today do a few basic things. And why don't we, in fact, play an audio clip for you to give you a sense. This is a recording of a call between our AI recruiter and a candidate. Can we have the clip, please? It's in Hindi.
Hello.
Just a heads up.
हेलो, मैं वाहन से प्रिया बोल रही हूँ। आपने वाहन ऐप पे स्विगी में डिलीवरी जॉब के लिए अप्लाई किया था। क्या आप डिलीवरी जॉब में इंटरेस्टेड हैं?
हाँ जी।
बढ़िया। आप डिलीवरी जॉब कौन से शहर में करना चाहेंगे?
मैं दिल्ली में रहता हूँ जी। और पैसा कितना मिलता है जी?
जी, डिलीवरी जॉब में आप महीने का 25,000 से 30,000 तक कमा सकते हैं। आप दिल्ली में कहाँ काम करना चाहते हैं?
करकटडुमा, आनंद विहार।
बढ़िया। करकटडुमा और आनंद विहार दोनों में ही डिलीवरी जॉब मिल जाएगी। अब आखिरी सवाल, क्या आपके पास इस समय ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस है?
हाँ जी है।
ठीक है। आपकी एप्लीकेशन आगे बढ़ाने के लिए हमें आपका ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस वेरीफाई करना होगा। मैंने आपको व्हाट्सएप पर एक मैसेज भेजा है। क्या आप वहां अपना ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस भेज सकते हैं?
हाँ जी ज़रूर।
ओके, मैं कॉल पर वेट कर रही हूं। आप अपना लाइसेंस भेज दीजिए, मैं चेक कर लूँगी।
ओके जी। हाँ जी, 1 मिनट में आ रहा है जी।
जी, आप आराम से अपना टाइम लीजिए, मैं वेट कर रही हूँ।
ये मैं भेज दिया जी।
बहुत बढ़िया। आपका ड्राइविंग लाइसेंस वेरीफाई हो गया है। अब आप अपनी एप्लीकेशन वाहन ऐप पर ट्रैक कर सकते हैं। आपको कोई और सवाल हो तो आप हमें इस नंबर पर भी कॉल कर सकते हैं। वाहन से जुड़ने के लिए शुक्रिया। ऑल द बेस्ट।
ठीक है जी, ओके जी, थैंक यू।
So the female voice that you heard on the call was our AI recruiter. How many people could tell that it was an AI or a bot? Obviously, I told you beforehand, so there was a bias. Okay, that's not bad. I think, we're onto something here. So the recruitment process is typically like a inside sales process, where there are recruiters who are essentially salespeople sitting in a centralized location, and there's outbound calling that is run on a list of phone numbers of candidates. They have to pitch them jobs, try to match them with at least one, answer a lot of their questions, and if they agree to do a particular job, they have to collect information in the form of documents, driver's license, PAN, Aadhaar, etc., and then get them to onboard onto a particular platform or an employer. So there's a lot of inefficiency in this process, especially at the very, very top of the funnel, where outbound calling itself, by its very nature, leads to a lot of calls being unanswered, right? Where humans waste a lot of time then. And then of the people who answer, another 30 to 40% will typically not be interested in what's being offered, right? In this case, a job. So at the very, very top of the process, there's a lot of low-hanging fruit that you can automate through the use of AI, right? And as a result, what we're seeing is, if a recruiter was able to recruit, let's say, one person in a day previously, with our AI recruiter, they're able to do 3 a day. Right? So the AI recruiter doesn't automate the entire process, just a part of it. In fact, the slide will make it clearer. On the left, the 4 stages of recruitment are outlined. There's lead generation, qualification, pitching, and then onboarding. Today, the agency or agencies that we work with on our marketplace do lead generation and onboarding. Our AI recruiter is able to do qualification and pitching, which you heard on the call. So we're able to ask basic questions. Are you interested in the job? Do you have a driver's license, etc., etc. We're able to also answer basic questions. So a very typical question that comes our way is, salary kitna milega, right? That's the first question. So we're able to answer those and other types of FAQs. And by the way, today, our AI is live in only English and Hindi. But the beauty of India is its diversity. There are at least 20, 22 major languages. So we plan to add those in hopefully the next 12 months. And over time, as our AI becomes better, by the way, we also collect the calls that are run by our agency partners, a few million calls a month. And that data is being used to fine-tune the models that we have deployed here. For the technical audience, we use a stack that consists of DeepGram at the speech-to-text layer, followed by GPT-4o at the LLM layer. And then finally, for text-to-speech, we use 11 Labs. And we keep benchmarking all available third-party systems for Indic languages, and we found that these, even now, work the best. So we fine-tune these models with the data that we are collecting through agency calls. And over time, we're finding that these systems are becoming better and better at obviously managing the entire process here. We also do a lot of what's called semantic caching. Essentially, you don't have to query or use the models for every single transaction. You try to save their response, you cache their response beforehand, and you can retrieve that. Now, what that does, and that's very, very important in the Indian context, is that it lowers costs, right? Because today, every single hit or request to any of these models is fairly expensive, though that cost is coming down exponentially. But to deploy anything in India at scale, cost is absolutely critical, or low cost is critical. We've been able to achieve that. In fact, our AI recruiter costs about half of even a human recruiter. So a human recruiter typically costs about 5 rupees per minute. The AI recruiter today runs at a cost of just 2.5 rupees a minute. So Vahan today recruits about 40,000 people a month, primarily in the delivery space. So we work with all of the large delivery companies that are out there. In fact, how many people, let's say, ordered something just today on food delivery, or yesterday on any of these platforms? Quite a few, yeah. So almost 1 out of 10 delivery workers who comes to your home now has been recruited by Vahan. So we've gotten to a good scale here. In fact, what we're more proud of is the impact that we're creating in people's lives. Last year, we helped about 260,000 people, 260,000 people find jobs. And I'm very proud of that number because each one of those people then would have been able to put food on the table or send their kids to school or perhaps treat an elderly family member. So the impact that we're having on people across the country is very large. There's also this story of Shubham Upadhyay, who's shown on the right of this slide here. Shubham was a delivery partner with Zomato, and he reached out to us about our agency program. And we onboarded him initially as a solo contributor. About a year back, he would recruit maybe 3 to 5 people every month for us. Fast forward to today, he has a team of 12 recruiters working for him, and he recruits over 100 people a month. So those are the kinds of stories and impact that we are able to drive through our platform. In fact, I'd love to play a short video for you, which talks about the story of Asha, who's also benefited from our platform. Can we have that video, please?
ಇಷ್ಟೊತ್ತಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಡೆಲಿವರಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ರಿಯಲಿ ಗ್ರೇಟ್. ನಿಮಗೆ ಭಯ ಆಗಲ್ವಾ ಅಂದರೆ ಭಯ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್, ಮತ್ತೇನು ಮಾಡೋದು, ನಾವು ಮಾಡಲೇಬೇಕು ಕೆಲಸ. ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಆಶಾ ಅಂತ, ನಾವಿರೋದು ಬೆಂಗಳೂರಲ್ಲಿ. ನಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ಹಸ್ಬೆಂಡು, ನಾನು, ನನ್ನಿಬ್ಬರು ಮಕ್ಕಳು, ನಮ್ಮ ಮಮ್ಮಿ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ನಾನು 7ನೇ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಗಂಟ 7th ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಗಂಟ ಓದಿದೆ. ಆವಾಗ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ತೊಂದರೆ ಆಯಿತು, ಕೆಲ್ಸಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಬಂತು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಕೆಲ್ಸಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಹಸ್ಬೆಂಡು ನಾವು ಒಂದೇ ಕಂಪ್ನಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳಾಯಿತು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಮಗು ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ದಿನ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಸ್ಟು. ಆಮೇಲೆ ನಾನು ಅಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟಲ್ಲಿ ಕುಕಿಂಗ್ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ದೆ. ನಾನು ಕುಕಿಂಗ್ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡುವಾಗಲೇ ನನಗೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳನ್ನ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಓದಿಸ್ಬೇಕನ್ನೋ ಆಸೆ ಇತ್ತು. ಆದರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ನಮಗೆ ದುಡ್ಡಿನ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇತ್ತು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಒಂದಿನ ಅಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಹತ್ರ ಝೊಮ್ಯಾಟೊ ರೈಡರ್ಗೆ ನೋಡಿದೆ. ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಕೇಳಿದೆ, ನಾನು ಈ ಥರ ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಲೇಡೀಸ್ಗಿದೆಯಾ ಅಂತ. ಅವ್ರು ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು. ಅವರು ಮತ್ತೆ ನನಗೆ ಮಿತ್ರಗೆ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಟ್ರು. ನಾನು ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಝೊಮ್ಯಾಟೊಗೆ ಸೇರಿಕೊಂಡೆ. ಅಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಮತ್ತೆ ನನ್ನ ಲೈಫ್ ಚೇಂಜ್ ಆಯಿತು. ತುಂಬ ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಗಿದೆ ನನಗೆ. ಡೆಲಿವರಿ ಮಾಡೋ ಸಮಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಸೆಂಟ್ರಲ್ಲೇ ಗ್ಯಾಪ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ, ಅಂದರೆ ಆರ್ಡ್ರ್ ಬಂದಿರಲ್ಲ, ನಾವು ಫ್ರೀಯಾಗಿರ್ತೀವಿ. ಆ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ಮಿತ್ರ ಆ್ಯಪಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ ಕಲಿಯೋದು ಅಥವಾ ಏನಾದರೂ ನಮಗೆ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ನೋಡೋದು ಏನಾದರೂ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಎಜುಕೇಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಜೀವನನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಅಂದ್ಕೋಬಾರ್ದು. ಕೆಲವ್ರಿಗೆ ಓದೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಇರ್ತವೆ. ಆವಾಗ ನಾವು ಧೈರ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಇದ್ದು ಎದುರಿಸ್ಬೇಕು. ನಾವು ಓದಿದ್ರೇ ನಮಗೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಬಾರ್ದು. ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಕನ್ನಡ ಹಿಂದಿ ಮಾತಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಬೇಕು. ಮತ್ತು ಒಂದು ಗಾಡಿ ಇದ್ದರೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಹತ್ರ, ಒಂದು ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಟಚ್ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಡೆಲಿವರಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಆರಾಮಾಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿ ಟೆನ್ಷನು ಇದರಲ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾವು ಓದದೇ ಇದ್ರೂ ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೋದು. ನಾವು ದುಡ್ಡು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಸಂಪಾದನೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಹಂಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಬೇರೆ ಕೆಲಸಗಳು ನಮಗೆ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ನಮಗೆ ಓದೇ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಅಂತ ನಾವು ಕೂರಬಾರ್ದು. ಲಾಕ್ಡೌನ್ ಟೈಮ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಎಷ್ಟೋ ಜನಕ್ಕೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಕಂಪ್ನಿಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಮುಚ್ಚಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿರುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಮಿತ್ರ ಆ್ಯಪ್ ಡೌನ್ಲೋಡ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಆ ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ನಮಗೆ ಆರಾಮಾಗಿ ಡೆಲಿವರಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ನಾವು ಮಿತ್ರದಿಂದ ನನಗೆ ಡೆಲಿವರಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಸಿಕ್ಕಿದೆ. ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರೋ ಮನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಮಕ್ಕಳನ್ನ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಓದಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ನನಗೆ ತುಂಬ ಖುಷಿಯಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಇಂಪ್ರೂವ್ ಆಗ್ತೀವಿ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಮಿತ್ರ.
Thank you. And of course, we're just getting started. We've placed close to 10 lakh people through our lifetime as a company, but our mission and big, hairy, audacious goal is to get earning opportunities to 1 billion people in the next 10 years. APJ Abdul Kalam said that A dream isn't something you have at night. A dream is something that keeps you awake. This is our dream. And that's it. Thank you so much.